want to say my cookery show, but it's not. It's horse stuff. Today I'm going to be taking you through some stuff that I make for my horses, namely electrolytes and hoof dressing. I do make some other things, but we'll just do those today. And that noise you can hear is Nora, by the way, because it's really hot here today, and yeah, she's just struggling a bit in the heat. Anyway, just so you know that I've used these things for years and they work just as well, in my opinion, as expensive shop ball for a fraction of the price. So the first thing I'm going to start with is the electrolytes. So I think people get confused by electrolytes. The long and short of it is electrolytes are just salt. If you're feeding salt to your horses, then you may not need to feed even more. But for horses that are working in hot conditions or working hard or traveling a lot, they could probably do with an extra bit, and that's when we would use electrolytes. This is just regular table salt or cooking salt. This cost me 90p, I think it was, from a supermarket, and you get 1.5 kilograms. So for a lot of horses, just sticking a couple of teaspoons of this in their feed every day, that would be fine. Then you get on to the other salts that are required, and basically it's sodium chloride and potassium. You can also give a couple of others, a calcium form and a magnesium. That can come from a third ingredient, which I don't tend to use because I think my horses get it from other vitamins and minerals that they get in their feed. So, table salt and this stuff. So to give them the potassium chloride, it is, I think there's a brand name called Low Salt. This is just sort of the supermarket's own brand, and I think it was like £1 for this. And this gives you the potassium chloride. So this gives you the potassium salt that you want. And then good old table salt again. And that gives you the sodium and the chloride. So that gives you the other two salts that you want. The ratio of these, I do it 2 of that to 1 of that. It's really quite simple. I shall show you. So I get through quite a lot of this. I've got 4 horses, and I tend to give them all electrolytes. And you can use any tub. This had candy floss in it, I think. So I'm a bugger. If I see anything that's got a decent lid on it and it's like a decent sized container, I keep them. So yeah, this is perfect for sort of supplements and things like that. So that's my tub, and I'm going to make it into that, straight into it. So like I said to you, it's 2 parts of the table salt to 1 part of the low salt, or the less sodium salt as it's called. So we might as well go off this one. So this is 350 grams. So I would want 700 grams of this. So double that. 2 parts that, 1 part that. I'll just get my measuring thing out and weigh it. God, my shelves just collapsed in my cupboard. I'll fix it later. So yeah, just gonna weigh it. This is a peppermint natural flavouring, and all it does is just make it a little bit more sort of palatable for horses. So a lot of these electrolytes that you buy will contain things like sucrose, or which is just posh names for sugar. I'd rather not give them more sugar than all the polos I give them. So I have a bit of a tendency just to use this peppermint, and it just creates a minty sort of smell and taste. The only disadvantage of this is it's obviously a liquid, which we're going to be putting into powder, so it can sometimes make the salt sort of clags together a little bit. If you don't want to do that, then you can buy sort of dried peppermint and things, which could be worth thinking about. But for me, I just use a few drops of peppermint. We've mixed it all through. As you can see, if you work the peppermint right into the salt, it doesn't actually clump together too badly. And then the next question is, how much do you feed? Because obviously, if you were buying this from a supplement company, they'd probably give you a handy little thing and say feed 1 scoop or 2 scoops a day. So my rule of thumb is my eventers, my horses in work and that are sweating, get up to 30 grams of electrolyte a day. The best way to work it out is get yourself your little measuring cup. This is one that I got from a different supplement. You can do tablespoons, and then you just basically weigh out how much of your thing your 30 grams is. So I'm going to start with just half initially, not even half, just half of my measuring cup, just to see how much that is about. And that's bang on 15. So, do that again. So, fill to the top. 30 grams. So I know that my horses are going to get one of those every day of electrolyte. He can't stay away because he knew I'd be talking to myself, so he's come to take the piss. What do you want?
What are you doing?
You know exactly what I'm doing. Get yourself a drink there?
Yep.
All right, cool.
It's kind of cider for you.
I've got a ride.
Raspberries and pomegranates.
Oh, that sounds good. Might have that later. Dickhead. So, on to the next thing, which is my hoof dressing. So for many, many years, I spent a fortune on hoof dressings. And then one day I just happened to look at the ingredients on a well-known brand, and I was pretty shocked at what the ingredients were. So the one I was using at the time was a solid, and the ingredients were animal fats, bay leaf, animal fat. Well, isn't that just this stuff? So that's lard, that's an animal fat. I then looked at the liquid one and saw that that was vegetable oil. You can buy vegetable oil for about 30p. So anyway, I make this one that I'm going to make now as a dressing that I use all year round. If you don't want to use the animal fat, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan and it doesn't sit with you, then you can just use completely the vegetable pasta, which is this. We have in my fridge. I wouldn't normally keep the coconut oil in the fridge, but it's really hot today and it keeps going liquid. So we're basically going to make it using lard and coconut oil and a few drops of tea tree essential oil. I need to get a saucepan. Saucepan. So the main gist of this is you melt the lard and the coconut oil together, add a few drops of the tea tree oil, and then you leave it to cool for a little bit before you put it into a container. Oh, God, that oven, I'm sorry. Don't put it into your container when it's too hot, because hot fats and oils will burn straight through any plastic. I use these, which are from our local Chinese takeaway, and they're absolutely great for keeping it in. I think I'm only going to make half the amount I would normally, so I'm just going to use 1 block of lard, and I'm going to match it with, this is 500 mils, so half of that of coconut oil, which will be 250 mils. Melt that together and put the drops. So the block of lard was, I think, 33p, and this was £2 something. So, oh, and my essential oils was a couple of quid. So sort of for less than a fiver, you're going to be having that much hoof dressing, which will last my 4 horses a good few months. So it's well worth it. Is all melted like that, don't do anything for a little while, just let it cool down a bit. If you can put it in the fridge for a little bit, that's ideal, but for goodness sake, these oils are really hot, so don't get it on yourself, don't spill it on anything. Oof. And certainly don't put it in something plastic just yet, because it will just go straight through. So just let it cool for a little bit. You can add the tea tree oil, essential oil, which is believed to have antibacterial and antiviral properties, so just the sort of thing we want to paint on a hoof. Give a good few hefty drops of that. Smells quite potent. I'll give it some more. A bit more. Smells good. Okay, I'm actually going to pop that into the fridge for a little bit to help it along with its cooling, so that I can then put it in this tub. So it's been in for about 10-15 minutes now, so I'm just going to get it out. It should be cool enough to put into my container. And then I'm going to pop it back in the fridge to let it completely solidify. And then it's ready to use. And there you go. So just looking at those, so I was just looking at, so a kilogram of electrolytes. I had a quick look while I was waiting for the hoof oil to cool down, and that's about £12. And even buying everything from scratch, so salt came to just under £2, and the peppermint essence was, I think, £1.50, something like that. So you're looking at about £3.50 for a kilogram of electrolytes, as opposed to £12. So that's quite a decent saving. So the stuff that's based on, the hoof oil, let's call it Bevin Cakon, works out about £10 for a smallish tub. And that has cost me half of the coconut oil. So the coconut oil was about £2.50. So if we say £1.25 for that, and then 30p for the lard, it's come in at well under £2 for a decent tub of hoof oil, hoof dressing. Yeah, so again, quite a significant saving. Have a go, see how you get on, let me know, and if there's anything else you want to know if I make. So I also do a a show shine, a coat shine. I make a plaiting spray. Off the top of my head, they're the next two I can do. So if you're interested in me doing this, let me know.